Welcome back. The panel is here. Hugh Hewitt, host on the Salem Radio Network, NBC News correspondent Carol Lee, NBC News White House correspondent Kristen Welker, and historian John Meacham, author of the new book Songs of America, written with Tim McGraw. Welcome all. Man, you always got something really cool that you're up to.
I got my tambourine.
This is what life is like in Nashville. Isn't it? Anyway, Kristen Welker, let's first talk about what you took away from the Mulvaney interview specifically, and we'll get to the McCain stuff a little bit later, but specifically on what you learned about impeachment and Russia.
Well, I thought it took him a long time to answer your question about whether or not the president actually thinks that Russia meddled in the election and helped him to get elected. And you pressed him, Chuck, on what specific steps are being taken by this administration to prevent it from happening again. And he was able to name some of the steps that they've taken trying to shore up state and local agencies. But he couldn't point to what the president has done, what the president has said. And time again, when President Trump has been pressed on this, I pressed him in the Oval Office. Did you tell Putin not to meddle again in the election? The president said it didn't come up. What is that going to look like at the G20 summit? Right. That's something we'll be watching closely.
But Carol Lee, not only the president is interfering in British politics, so we know that he really doesn't probably care about foreign interference.
No, and that was really remarkable that he has weighed in. Look, presidents have weighed in on various issues overseas. We saw President Obama do that with Brexit. He obviously
at Cameron's invitation.
Correct.
It was an invitation of the leader of that country.
President Trump sort of takes that to a new level. Yeah. He did it with the Israeli elections, and he did it here. And the remarkable thing about what he's saying in the UK is that it's on the eve of his state visit there. And so it's creating all of this controversy where there was already a ton of controversy.
Hey, Hugh, you were struck by the McCain stuff.
You
were shocked.
That they said, no, it's a 22 or 23-year-old staffer and he won't be going out. But what really struck me is when you asked him, were the tariffs rushed out the door to cover Mueller? He said, absolutely not. And I believe that. The Mueller report was melting like paper mache in the rain before Bob Mueller walked out. And I thought the statement, like the report, was irresponsible, indecipherable, completely inconclusive, except the report made a conclusion, as did Mueller. There is no concrete evidence to charge any crime of
insufficient evidence.
Insufficient.
That's a different phraseology, though.
But
insufficient
that is
evidence.
The prosecutor's job.
Right.
And so that's why it is so irresponsible. Bob Mueller knows, and I've sat here for 2 years doing this. Leave him alone, let him finish. Bob Mueller knows there is no crime. So when Attorney General Bill Barr, now fondly known among conservatives as Bill, the Honey Badger Don't Care Barr, comes out and says, we don't have a crime here, it's over.
You know, John Meacham, it's interesting watching Mueller. Mark Mazzetti and Katie Benner wrote this in the New York Times about Mueller. He said nothing and the president said everything. He worked in secret, allowing the president to fill the void with reckless accusations of a witch hunt. His damning conclusions were encased in dense legal jargon, and the president distorted into vindication. And in some ways, Mueller, I guess, tried to have a do-over on Wednesday.
Yeah.
And the do-over lacked clarity.
He took a mulligan and hit it in the lake, which I do a lot. So I appreciate it.
Still three.
Yeah. No, it's true. And with Trump would be a negative, too.
Yeah, right.
He would not count it. Yes, we've all talked about it all week. Basically, you had a total clash of cultures. This was the easiest scene to write you can imagine, because you have two scenes. Right. You have a guy from the Dean Acheson School of Washington establishment making a very coherent, it seems to me, and responsible and reasoned statement. And then you cut to across Pennsylvania Avenue, Donald Trump was tweeting. And the tweeting is going to, right now, the tweeting is going to win out over the fact and the reason. That's the great issue of the time.
I want to play this, this quote from an attendee at Justin Amash's town hall. Listen to what she said about the Mueller report.
I was surprised to hear there was anything negative in the Mueller report at all about President Trump. I hadn't heard that before, and I mainly listened to conservative news, and I hadn't heard anything negative about that report, and President Trump had been exonerated.
It's fascinating. You know, somebody at the White House could look at that quote and say, huh, it's working.
It's working, and I think to some extent the public had made up its mind from the moment that Barr put out the summary. Even before the day that the Mueller report came out, and Chuck, look at what happened on that day. Barr spoke an hour and a half before the report was made public and before those excerpts were released. And so I think it's hard to put the toothpaste back into the tube. The White House knows it.
Right.
The president's attorneys know it. And they're basically making the case, look, the attorney general said it's time to move on, so we can. And again, to your point, and you raise this, what would this have looked like if Mueller had spoken first?
It's not just the president. I want to emphasize that legal writers and scholars who are as esteemed in our circles as John is among historians, Jack Goldsmith at Harvard, many others have said the Mueller report is exactly what a special counsel should not do, which is their job, reach a conclusion. And as a result, Judge Luttig, probably the most influential conservative not serving in government, was quoted in the Washington Post. He never allows himself to be quoted as saying, you can't prosecute a president, but you can always declare that he's committed a crime. And Mueller did not, either in the do-over or the mulligan. It was a fiasco.
Well, here's what it's done, Carol Lee, is that I think it's put Democrats in this uncomfortable spot. They don't know what to do. They don't even know how to stay on the same talking points. Take a listen to this.
Impeachment is a political act, and you cannot impeach a president if the American people will not support it.
We can't impeach him for political reasons, and we can't not impeach him for political reasons.
I don't want to play into Russia's hands and divide this country more with a partisan impeachment. So I am totally schizophrenic right now about all of the different things that are in there.
I think Congresswoman Dingell, I think that is probably the most honest assessment of all congressional Democrats. I think they're frustrated that the president defies Congress, and at the same time, they're aware of how divisive this all is.
Yeah, and they're all tied up in knots, and you're going to see in the coming week Speaker Pelosi try to figure out where the next step goes, because, you know, she'll have a Monday night leadership meeting. She'll then cuddle with her caucus. This is the point at which she's under the most pressure than she's been about impeachment, and, you know, yet no one seems to know what her end game is. Right now, it's just her message is not, she doesn't have an exit strategy. She has a sort of counter offer, which is let these investigations finish and let's give it time and let this play out. And
final word on this, John.
One of the things that's, and I don't face voters, so it's easy for me to say, but basically what's happening now is if you continue to raise the bar on impeachment, you're going to lower the bar on presidential lawlessness. That's the problem.
That's probably a good way of putting it. Hey, NBC News fans, thanks for checking out our YouTube channel. Subscribe by clicking on that button down here, and then click on any of the videos over here to watch the latest interviews, show highlights, and digital exclusives. Thanks for watching.